I've had a few situations where I had to blur.
And now, the grand finale. A special guest, a little off topic fun, and discussions so good I refuse to rush them. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for every second of this. What is something that really stood out or impressed you about Second Love this year?
What stood out to me this year, and every year really with Second, I think the thing that impresses me with it is just like the sense of community that it brings. Like that's like my favorite thing about Second Life, other than it being just like an amazing creative outlet for me. I think like the sense of community brings me back. Because I've had friends on here like from when I first started, but then like also a lot of people have left in between and you make new friends and whatnot. But when there's like events that come to like pull all different types of people together, kind of like Smoke Fest, or like I have some friends that put on little parties every couple of months and stuff, and it brings all types of people together. Or um, I don't know, sometimes there's like different causes going on in the world that people raise money for. Like there's just so many different things and like shows of community on here, and I think that is like my favorite thing every year about Second Life is seeing like how people pull together and work together and show up and have a good time. And like, you know, I don't know, it's like the epitome of Second Life to me is that.
If you could wave a magic wand and change or add one thing to Second Life, what would it be?
Oh, it's a hard question. If I could add anything to Second Life, hmm, that is so hard, Brie. Can we come back to that one so I can think about it a little bit?
Okay. What would you say to someone considering joining Second Life in 2025?
I would say yeah, like I feel like I would have to like help them out though. Like it's a little learning curve when you get on here a bit. So I feel like you have to like give some solid advice, like
A
and help them
little
out. Like
learning curve. You think
what's
it's
that?
you think it's a little learning curve? I think it,
Yeah, a bit. Yeah,
I
like I
think
think
it's
it's probably
big.
not as easy. Yeah, all right, right. Big. I don't know, cause like when we hopped on, we just kind of like fumbled through and figured things out. I don't know. I did have people help me though, like with the shape and the look and stuff. But I don't know. Like there, it is like there's just so much now with a mesh head. Like I've had friends that come back and they haven't seen mesh before, and like trying to teach them what a mesh head, mesh body, mesh clothes, and all that is crazy.
What's your message to those who have misconceptions about Second Life?
um, I would say that you kind of just have like make it your own. You shouldn't go off based like what other people say necessarily. Like it's always good to like take caution and like listen to what people's experiences are, but like their experiences won't be yours. Like you make the best out of like what you do on here and the people that you hang around. Like, you know, if you hang around drama, you're gonna get in drama, but that might be the person's experience that talked to you about it, but not necessarily yours. Like you might not want to be around that energy and might have some like really positive experiences on here.
If we fast forward to 2030, what do you hope people will be saying about Second Life?
Um, I think I would hope that they're saying like it is, you know, like the metaverse and whatnot. Like there's just so much talk about the metaverse now, and I feel like Second Life kind of has been that, and it just kind of needs to expand. Like I hope it's more publicly known, and you know they market themselves well, and people try it out, and maybe it's not such a big learning curve by then. Like you know. So I don't know. I just hope that it's like more of a norm for people to be creative and check it out and explore.
As we head into 2025, what's something you'd like to say to the Second Life community, whether it's advice, encouragement, or just a big thank you?
Definitely a thank you. I don't ever really get bored of SL. Like I'm super thankful for like the people in it and like all the creative aspects of it. I love to explore different sims and see, what people are making on here. I get so excited over my friends' stuff that they make or people that I don't know stuff that they make, and I just like love taking pictures with that kind of stuff that like is like inspiring. But yeah, just like a big thank you to everybody that contributes, whether it's like holding events or making stuff or creating beautiful sims or experiences. Like those are definitely my favorite parts of SL.
Okay, can we go back to the other question you missed?
Do we
Do you
have
have?
to?
No, so you still can't think of something?
Do we have to? Okay. So if I could make okay, if I could wave a magic wand, right?
Yeah,
What would I
change
bring
one
to
thing. Something that is annoying you, or I don't know.
Okay, just change anything. If it was a personal thing, I crash like every time I log into SL. Like at least one time. I would love to change that. But if it was something for everybody, um I don't know. I kind of just wish that people were like not caring as much like how they look in the public eye on social media and stuff, and they just kind of like got back to just having fun and being around people that they enjoyed on here, maybe like less of a status kind of thing and more of just like enjoy the people and the places that you surround yourself with kind of thing. Like I feel like social media took a bit of the fun out of SL as far as like, just kind of like logging in and just kind of like ignoring that kind of thing. Like I feel like people log in and get on Facebook and just scroll it. Like they kind of forget about like the point of logging in. So I don't know. I kind of wish that people kind of could get back to the basics and just like actually enjoy their second life instead of like worrying about who said what or who did this or who's copying who, and I don't know. Like just get back to
Oh, that's
basics.
a good point. Yeah. Pick a number between 1 and 10.
7.
Morning person or night owl?
Oof. I'm a night owl that tries to train myself to be a morning person because I feel like if I sleep in too long, I'm not productive. But naturally a night owl.
And excuse me, my wonderful voice that is so well known and so beloved by so many thousands, in fact, except for the customer service people that I call in real life and yell at them. I don't think that they like my voice that much. The postal service, for example, is a little bit strained because I'm a little bit under the weather, but that's fine. They're just sort of the basic material. And I found that I'm much more coherent sometimes when somebody asks me questions, and then of course that never happens in real life. The neighbor in real life, I met her at the train station. He says, "What are you doing over Christmas?" And then I said, "Oh boy, don't ask me questions like that. You'll get a 1 hour answer, and you're gonna be depressed when you walk away from me." And I think that's what happened. But also the good thing is. You're left alone. I walk down the street here locally in my Munich neighborhood, and people cross the street when they see me coming, so that's not bad. Saves me a lot of time. Saves me a lot of time.
What's something that really stood out or impressed you about Second Life this year?
I'm looking very good with these new with these new pants that I just attached. So what stood out in Second Life this year?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be selfish for me personally. Linden Lab did not renew my contract last year, which is completely fine and understandable. There's many reasons. One's certainly not that they were not happy with the videos that I produced for the official channel, but it's more, I mean, it's a kind of a corporate downsizing. There's many different reasons. Video does not return the investment for them, I think, as they may have planned. So out of this, maybe a little, not shock, because I kind of saw it coming. But what that did for me is I had to think about how do I continue, and then I decided to basically start a new series, and I did some fundraising for it by way of live streams, where I also played some classic and old videos that are somewhat rare. And the feedback from these live streams and this sort of retrospective was really cool. It was very heartwarming that a lot of people seemed to care about the type of documentary work that I, which highlights the people, the projects, and is sort of I try to obviously do sort of an oral history that hopefully lives on in a kind of a semi-ethnographic type of sense, but I don't want to get too intellectual here. So yeah, and that stood out for me personally. What also stood out, I mean, this stands out every year actually, is that Second Life is around, that people are doing amazing projects, that there is a creative vibrancy around Second Life, completely disrespective of how it's reported or not reported in the mainstream media. We of course had a lot of reporting during COVID because um, people or mainstream journalists or they were like, oh, let's look at how do people connect. Oh wait, there's this thing called Second Life that is really old. Let's see if that's still around. And yeah, it is around, and I did a bunch of interviews, other people as well. So, but then it kind of, after the big lockdown period, that kind of went away. And so, to answer your question succinctly, what stands out to me is that Second Life is just this incredible motor of a motor of unleashing the creative impulse in people from all walks of life, and that's amazing, especially in light of the internet as a whole being now, this is my personal opinion, almost completely corporatized, and every other offering in the digital realm driven by investor wishes and algorithms, and Second Life is not. Second Life is driven by individuals, by small
Yeah.
projects that have a different. Sometimes they have an economic impetus. They want to make money with their products. Completely fine, but it's just like I used to say almost 20 years ago now. It's really kind of an old school type of market, the market square in the little town where you go and you look at the guy and he has the best sausages and the other guy has the best horses and whatnot. So anyway, that's what Second Life is to me.
If you could wave a magic wand and change or add just one thing to Second Life, what would it be?
Ooh. Oh my God. Well, as my work is often centered around people with disabilities and mobility impairment, I would like to, and again, this is maybe a little bit of a cop-out question because I want the magic wand to do a lot of things, and I want it to be broadly more accessible to people with various disabilities, blind, visually impaired people. So for this can be any number of things, and people have implemented these things like bigger fonts of text, text to speech built into Second Life. People do all sorts of cool workarounds with adjunct little apps and stuff like that, and that's all doable. Like Dragon Speak, I know people use, but to have that built in, to have like a whole suite of functionality specifically targeting people with mobility impairments built into SL, that would be really cool. I'm not holding my breath, but because that stuff is, costs money, developer time, and it's probably in our framework of in the political economy of capitalism, it does not really yield the return on investment. On the other hand, I know that Philip knows, and all the Lindens that I ever talk to, they're fully aware that Second Life is extremely popular because it provides so much freedom and mobility to people with different types of disability. Visible disabilities, invisible disability. Example for invisible disability, for example, is when you're deaf, right? When you're deaf, people don't see that, like you encounter someone in the physical world, let's say on the train, and you start talking to them, and they look at you. So you don't see that, and these things fall by the wayside in SL, and that's incredibly empowering and uniting. So, next question.
What would you say to someone considering joining Second Life in 2025?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I've been hosting the book club for a while here in SL, and we talk about, completely irrespective of the author's work or whatever, a recurring theme is the theme of feeling alone, of feeling isolated, also feeling this underlying anxiety, which has to do with with turbo capitalism. I just call it capitalism. The erosion of economic security for most people, feeling trapped in shitty jobs, etc. If I the best pitch for me is, if you feel anxious, you feel lonely, you feel there is no support, no solidarity, you feel the world is oppressive, you feel a kind of a hedonistic depression oncoming, or colluding clouding your mind because of the pressures of everyday life, trying to earn a living with a shitty job, bad pay, etc. Join Second Life, because you can unleash a power that you have, which is the power of healing through creative expression. Now, then that person will say, yeah, but I'm already on Fortnite. And I say, dude, there's no comparison. There's no comparison. We're talking about, and it depends. If you value creative freedom, even if you don't realize now that creative freedom and expressing yourself creatively, this can be painting, this can be music, this can be, in real life, for example, cooking or crocheting. It does not matter. The healing properties of that experience, of that process, are built into Second Life, because Second Life is not nudging you into a certain direction. You are driving the bus in Second Life. And if that's something you value, regaining some sort of agency over your own identity, then you must join Second Life. End of story. And I work with a lot of young people right now. I'm recording the demo tape of my son's band. It's kind of alternative rock, grungy, little metal, really cool stuff. My son plays drums now, and these kids, they're 21 to 23. They're really, really great kids, and I have a lot of hope when I see them, and I have a lot of empathy when I see their anxieties and things of that nature. And the anxieties, when I look at them, uh, they have to do, and this is my opinion, I mean, I'm a broken record, you should probably shut me up while I go on for another hour. No, I won't, I promise. The anxiety induced by being on social media is something that is well reported. Byung-Chul Han has a little book called The Burnout Society. Highly recommended. It's 80 pages. You can read that in an afternoon. Uh, Jaron Lanier, the father of modern virtual reality, had a book out several years ago with the title "Delete Your Social Media Now." The Jaron Lanier interviews from several years ago on this book tour are all on YouTube. Highly recommended. His rationale why you should delete them. This cannot be overemphasized how damaging for a developing identity. I'm talking now about young people, but I think everybody is affected. The kind of manipulation that's going on. I'm not talking about fake news. That's another issue. I'm talking manipulating your emotions and this whole Facebook study that was well reported with this whistleblower, where they did an internal study where they go like, hey, how does Facebook posting affect teenagers when they may suffer from depression? And Facebook found out, oh shit, it makes it worse because of our algorithm. And then what did Facebook do? Did they release it? They say, oh no, we gotta bury this shit. Oh my God, nobody must ever know. And then that whistleblower came out, and so it's well known in this industry. And again, it has to do with that business model, and the business model is a big data business model, etc. Second Life does not have that business model. Second Life is old school, server rental, if you will, and taking little taxes from purchases. End of story. And apart from that, you can do whatever you want, and that's incredibly empowering in a world today. And again, I want to add, when people say like, oh yeah, I have my community in game XYZ. That's fine. You have a community. But of course, the difference between Second Life and a game is, again, the freedom to express yourself through your avatar, through your world building, through your community. There's no comparison. Even when you compare it to a relatively flexible game like, I don't know, I'm not an expert in Fortnite, but you know what I'm saying. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no comparison, and it's sometimes
No.
hard to explain that, but I always do it anyways, even if people cross the street in front of me and say, oh, there's that crazy dude again. Let's run. Run as fast as you can. He's gonna start about that weird world.
What's your message to those who may have misconceptions about Second Life?
Yeah, I mean, this is really the impetus when I first came in, and 2007, very quickly, and I came out of a radio producer job at an NPR station in a small California community. So I have a radio production background as a journalist, and there, as you know, you come into Second Life, and all of a sudden is this blank slate, this white piece of paper. You can do whatever you want. That's intimidating for a lot of people, completely understandably, right? Because that's not how we're taught in life. In life, we're always being nudged in a certain direction. We're always like, oh, you got to make this decision, make it quick. Oh, what are you going to do after high school? You're going to go study, or are you going to do this? And there's never just this piece of like, wow, without stress, I can look at this stuff and just have it sort of decide on my own pace and stuff like that. I decided very early on that I needed to explain what's going on here in Second Life through this machinima reportage format. And primarily for myself also, although I immediately knew that this is for me. That's what I did know, because it represented access to everybody in the world, intellectual access, right? To kind of really like, oh, this all walks of life. So this appealed to me. I can talk to these people. We can connect. As amazing. But I still wanted to explain it, and that's why I started these videos, and that's my contribution to explaining. So whenever somebody comes like, I don't get it. Why would somebody do that? And I go, okay, here's a video that I made about music. Just watch it.
Yeah.
And then people watch, like I did one on Oble, who is a looper. Years ago, I made a video, and he plays locally in the Colorado, where he lives, and he makes just a very concrete point. He says, I can play locally, but it's always the same people. But in Second Life, I can play 3 times a day in 3 different time zones to my Asian audience, to my European audience, to my North American audience. And so that's a concrete thing that people understand.
If we fast forward to 2030, what do you hope people will be saying about Second Life?
Great question. Always, of course. I asked that question many times at the Second Life community convention, and there's one from 2008. I remember, I forgot the guy's name, but he's on camera. I said, so what's the future of Second Life? And he says on camera, yeah, Second Life will linger, and it will linger, and it will just linger, and then, I don't know, it will die. No, I don't. I think the most important thing in life is the most important job that one has is not to become cynical. It's very important. Cynicism is a cop-out. Cynicism is basically giving up and saying, "Ah, fuck, I can't do anything anyway, so F it, I'm doing good. I have a house. My kids are not on drugs and not in jail." That's what Frank Zappa used to say, which is a kind of a cool answer. But the point is, when you're cynical and
Yep.
you basically say there's nothing you can do about stuff, that cynicism is very dangerous, and it becomes corrosive for yourself and for the people around you. That doesn't mean you need to be um, naively rose-colored glasses. I mean, I'm a political activist from the very left spectrum in my real life, and I look at stuff and I know that annoys my dad when I point out issues on a structural level, why things are not working, and he gets really upset when I point that out because he knows that I'm right, but he also knows that he can't change it. And I know this is a um, painful feeling. Now, you are probably wondering, Pris, what is he talking about? I asked a question about going into the future of 2030. This big setup will lead to the following answer. Second Life will be associated within this small niche as a haven for people who value being free. And again, I said this before, my sense is, and I'm not alone in this, there's a lot of Silicon Valley insiders and journalists of high stature that have pointed out the complete corporatization of the internet. Cory Doctorow has coined the term "n-shitification." He's pointed out in essay after essay how the dream of connecting people and having the internet as a means of free expression is completely gone because of big monopolies really dominating everything. And Second Life is the antidote of that. It's that little niche that is still free, and that's what it will represent. And if people realize it or not, it will provide that. So I hope, and this then goes to hope, that Linden Lab will find a way to have a sustainable business, and so far they have. I mean, we also have to look at the fact that a lot of other businesses, technology businesses, have failed and are gone. Now, people make fun of Second Life. Oh, look how small it is. Only has 600,000 concurrent viewers. You know what? Who the F cares? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to swear. Who the F cares? I never cared, and I think a lot of people don't care. Of course, Linden Lab has to care. It's a different proposition. Their marketing team, their executive leadership, they have to make it sustainable. We have the luxury to just go in here and have fun, and we don't have to wake up sweating like, oh my God, how can we sustain this business? So I'm fully aware of that we are privileged that way. But I have hope in Linden Lab leadership that they are aware of Second Life's unique value that it brings to people. And again, this could change. This could change in an hour when a new CEO comes in, or I don't know, and they have like, okay, I want 100x return on investment. Oh, you can't provide that? Okay, let's bring in some private equity and destroy the whole thing. And I mean, this is what's happening, and that would be absolutely devastating. But I really don't think it will happen.
As
Yeah.
we head into 2025, what's something you'd like to say to the Second Life community, whether it's advice, encouragement, or just a big thank you?
Yeah, that's great. A big thank you. The Second Life community is very, very fragmented, and I don't say this in the negative sense. It's just a fact. There's a lot of small sub communities. They don't interact necessarily. There's all number of, just gonna mention tinies come to mind, or certain specific communities that center around certain avatars. Furries, of course, within the furry community, there's also a lot of subcommunities. That is really amazing. So there is no such thing as the Second Life community. Of course, um, as I said earlier, what we all have in common is that I think we appreciate this kind of freedom of expression. That's the one thing. But apart from that, it's very fragmented, um, and that is one of its that's sometimes annoying to me from a production standpoint when I'm trying to get in touch with someone. And but on the other hand, over the years, I also come to appreciate it. Um, uh, what would I say to them? I mean, I say to them, for thank you for having the courage to fill this blank piece of paper with color. Again, it has there's courage involved here. I mean, my son is now 21, but I remember I would go to the elementary school arts exhibit, and what I found fascinating, first and second grade, amazing stuff, explosion of color, chaos, really appealing to me. Of course, why? I mean, of course, there's the kids are not that self-conscious at that age, and then third grade, fourth grade comes around, and it's nobody's fault. It's just growing up. The school and a good pedagogically inclined teacher can counteract that, but kids become self-conscious about like, oh, look at this guy, he can draw really realistically. I'm not gonna draw anymore. My drawing looks like shit. And so the stuff becomes a little in third grade becomes a little stale for my taste, and then it gets better again when sort of the identities emerge. And that's what I mean with courage. I think that's one of the main reasons why Second Life is not as uh, successful as other games. And I pray that Linden Lab does not. And because there were times when they were like, "Oh, if we just add some gamification things, then everything is going to be fine." And I said, "No, no, no, please do not. Please do
Yeah.
not. This is again the one amazing thing. You are forced to relearn that muscle of intrinsic motivation. You gotta find your own path. This is something that's been trained out of us in the world, in life, like in school,
Yeah.
at the job, etc. So yeah.
Pick a number between 1 and 10.
Oh my God. Oh, this is a difficult question.
How is that difficult? You have to pick a number.
I don't know because I have maybe slight obsessive compulsive tendency. I don't know. You gotta call my psychiatrist and get the background scoop on that one. Let's just say seven. Oh God. See, I told you I'm gonna die right here at the
you,
interview.
you're picking number 7.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Why is this some tarot stuff? Are you a tarot? Are you esoterically inclined?
Nope, 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 nope. I think a lot of people just like this number for some reason.
Oh.
Yep, yep. Even Philip picked that number too.
Oh my God.
3 people in a row picked that number. Yep. I don't know.
Well, that's because Philip and I were once on a plane together.
So you picked number 7 because you were on the plane together. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, does that not make any
totally
sense?
makes
Well, it
sense.
makes.
All right.
Everybody's like, yeah, that totally makes sense.
Oh, yeah, totally. So, morning person or a night owl?
Oh, definitely morning person. Yeah, always. And a tiny little anecdote. I mean, I used to be a touring musician, and what was always very funny, the cliche about musicians is, of course, like, oh yeah, they sleep whatever till the afternoon, whatever. And we had a radio promoter on tour with us, and she was like, "Okay, guys, tomorrow we have a radio interview at 10 a.m. I know you musicians, you're gonna sleep. So I'm gonna send to make sure." I mean, she's very like our mother, and we were like, "What the hell is she talking about?" And then we went to this hotel, and it was a great hotel with a big spa. And me and the singer, we were like, "Hey, let's meet at the spa at 6 in the morning. We'll do the whole spa thing, and then we'll do breakfast." And so we were totally like up early and did the whole thing. And then she said, "Okay, then we're gonna meet at 9:30 at the lobby." And then we were, of course, at the lobby at 9:15, and she was not there. And then we call up on her room, and then she overslept. And we're like, the musicians are always late. I see. So yeah.
Well, that's it. We're done. 30 minutes
That's it?
on the dot. Yep.
Oh, I have so much more to say.
What first introduced you to Second Life and what made you decide to give it a try?
Yes, so I heard about Second Life years ago, like when I was a kid, but I never got into it then, which was probably for the best. But I started my channel as just a VR centric channel, and as everybody started talking about the metaverse and this and that started to become the buzzword with VR, I was like, well, I feel like the metaverse has been around for like 20 years, but everyone just kind of forgot in the mainstream. And so I thought it'd be interesting to come back to Second Life because I had remembered it and see, one, if it was still active, and two, if it was, how it compared to the new VR metaverse apps that were coming out in a fun and comedic way.
Do you feel Second Life offers something that traditional games don't?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was kind of the main takeaway initially, was that it's really not a game. It's more of like a social media sort of platform in a 3D space, if that makes sense.
If you could bring one feature or mechanic from another game into Second Life, what would it be and why?
Ooh, this is an interesting one. Well, one, I know that this was something, I don't know if this ever came out, but I think Second Life is built for a VR application. I know that they had been working on that at one point,
Yeah.
but I think that's the next frontier. Try to tap into the whole VR chat craze that's been happening.
Do you think the gaming skills and social strategies developed in other game help you navigate Second Life in a unique way?
Maybe in some aspects. The biggest takeaway I had was I expected Second Life to be like VR chat, which is a lot more, for lack of a better words, a lot more trolly people, like going around with insane avatars. So I was shocked that it was a lot more laid back. It seemed to be an older user base. And so I kind of had to adjust the way I was talking to people, because I was like, this is not like, the Knuckles meme VR chat stuff. This is, people hanging out, sort of using their post-work time to just like talk, which was very different and unique from regular gaming, social structure, I think.
Is there anything about Second Life that you wish you could change or improve?
I think how well it runs. I think optimization could definitely be improved.
Yep.
Which, that's just the nature of a platform where people can build their own, worlds, essentially, is that the optimization is going to be down to the user building it, not necessarily the platform it's on. But that's been the ongoing struggle I've had, is you'll go from one place that's beautiful to another place where all the shaders are broken and you're disoriented.
Have you ever been tempted to take a more serious approach to Second Life, like building something or participate in events?
Yeah, I've actually been thinking about trying to cover some events from a more like, interview-based, approach of going to these events and interacting with the community more on like a personal level in that way. I do think, because I'm not a journalist or anything. I'm more so try to use my sort of comedic nature to showcase just what the day-to-day sort of interactions are like in here, and I think that's my strong point. Yeah, I like to just, get people talking. I think that's something that people forgot as a, center core piece of this, is meeting new people and just, talking to people from all over. Like I went the other day to a world that was a bunch of people speaking Hindi. And I went up and I was like, I don't know Hindi. Could you guys try to teach me? And God bless them. They did try.
Oh, wow.
It didn't go well, but we tried.
Yeah, but
And so it's a platform where you can have those kind of experiences, which is unique from gaming for sure.
don't think you
Yes,
would do that
exactly.
on playing Call of Duty or something like that.
No, that doesn't happen often in Fortnite.
What's one thing about Second Life that surprises you every time you log in?
I would say the wide variety of people here. It's one of the most eclectic communities, for lack of a better words. You'll go one place and it'll be like people in their mid to late 40s, playing country music, and then you go to another place and it'll be like a dance club of a bunch of 22-year-olds. It's a very interesting swath of people that you run into just from place to place.
Do you think Second Life has the potential to grow its audience among gamers, or is it better suited to a niche audience?
That's always been one of the big questions I ask is Second Life destined to sort of just remain with the core audience it has now, or is there potential to grow? And I think there is, especially now that people are talking about virtual real estate and metaverse and all of these things. I think it has the potential to bring in a new audience. I don't know about gamers though, because it's not, to me, I've never really seen it as like a gaming platform, though there are games obviously built into it. I think more so it has potential with whatever the crossover is with the VR chat audience.
If someone told you they were hesitant to try Second Life, what would you say to encourage or discourage them?
I would tell them if they want to try it to have something specific in mind. The thing that everybody who continues to comment on my videos lets me know is that if you go into Second Life without a clear idea of what you're trying to get out of it, like, whether it be finding people with mutual interests or like, seeing different 3D worlds or something, you're going to end up sort of getting drowned in the vastness of it. Like I have in a lot of my videos of just wandering, trying to find something that interests you, as opposed to coming in knowing like I'm looking for like-minded people or I'm going to go to this kinds of events type of thing.
What would you say is the secret sauce that makes Second Life such a unique experience compared to other virtual platforms?
I think there's a lot more tools, just obviously by nature of it being around for so long. The world creation tools are pretty robust, and the fact that the entire world is interconnected on one map is, I think, what draws a lot of people to it. It feels like it is one big world as opposed to a bunch of different portals or something. VR chat is just, each world is its own specific instance, and then there's multiple instances of each one. So it's more like a game than Second Life is, where everything is living and happening at the same time.
Are there any specific places or communities in Second Life that you enjoy exploring or interacting with?
I have to shout out the Pickle Weasel Club, or the Pickle Weasel Hangout Spot. They've been the best people to me. Because sometimes when people find out that I do videos or that they appeared in a video, I'll go back to that place and they'll just be upset, which is, I get it. I've been banned from a few worlds for showcasing the world or showcasing their land and not having a favorable opinion about it. And that's just the nature of these things. But the Pickle Weasel people have been the kindest and the most welcoming community that I've run into so far personally. And they helped me a lot when I literally had no idea what I was doing. I think I have a video that was 2 hours condensed into 10 minutes, me trying to figure out how to apply an avatar. And they were patient.
You need to get back to them now.
Yeah, I think so. I need to fix things up a little bit. I need them to figure out my finger situation.
Okay, I think this one you've answered. I'll just ask it again. But how does the Second Life community compare to other gaming or virtual world communities you've been part of?
It's a lot more chill. I think that's a big part. It's a lot more like, other games, it's like you're going in there to be competitive and like get in the zone and level up. But Second Life seems more like a place that you go after work where you just want to hang out with your friends, but your friends are in all over the world. You know what I mean? It's less of a progression-based experience and more of a social thing. And it's cool because you see these people build these communities around like, oh, every Thursday we do karaoke night here. It's similar to having, friends in real life that you go at the bars with or something.
Have you ever felt inspired to take your Second Life experiences and turn them into something creative, like a story, a comedy, routine, or scripted video?
Yeah, I've thought about that before, and I've thought about hosting live events in here as well. I did one like live stream sort of hangout thing in Second Life that went pretty well, but I've been thinking about producing like maybe a show, like a comedy show, and getting like actual acts because it could be an interesting element. Bringing in some professional comedians I know, having them try Second Life for the first time, do stand up, and then do like a little interview portion on what they think of it.
Oh wow, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I've been thinking about doing like something like that, like a once a month, night show
Yeah.
or something. Yeah, I think, the biggest challenge for Second Life right now is just getting new people interested in it. Because I think people, if they've heard of Second Life, they think, oh, that's that platform from 20 years ago. But,
Yeah.
it's quite different than it used to be. And I don't think people think about that.
It has a lot to do with the bad press that Second Life
Yeah.
is getting. If you mention Second Life, it's taboo because it is apparently all about sex and weird places.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and there certainly are those places in here, but I think
Yes.
people don't realize that that's a smaller portion of it.
also you've come across them.
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
I've had some videos where I had to blur the whole screen. But even when I go to those places, the people are nice enough. It's just, people wanting to explore, maybe sides of themselves that they're not comfortable exploring in the real world for whatever reason, which obviously can create bad situations, but I think a lot of times it's
Yeah.
just
And you've never felt like exploring another side of yourself?
I've been okay with not, but I'm always fascinated to hear the stories and have the conversations with people who do. Let's just say Second Life was one of those places where you can find what you're looking for.
Or what you're not looking for, too.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes if you're like me and you're just dropping a point on random places on the map.
Is there anything in Second Life you've never tried but would like to explore in 2025? Do you have a wish list or a to-do list for the year ahead in Second Life? I mean, you've talked about the live show, which is a great idea.
Yeah, I think I want to do that, and I want to cover more of the main like official Second Life events and see what those sort of larger scale events that they do in this are like, and try to engage more on that end. Because I really haven't gone to any of them. Shout out to everybody that I've run into who's been cool and welcoming and has put up with my antics. Like I said, I don't consider my channel like a troll channel or anything. I just try to do like a funny comedic but wholesome exploration of what the world is like today, and specifically what it is like for a new or less experienced user to join Second Life now, because I think that's useful information, seeing where the pain points are, where things can be confusing.
Well-
And I hope people get something out of it and laugh as well. Fair, I haven't been educating myself as much as I should. I just fell in love with the Crocs on the bottom of my feet too much. I can't, what can I say?
We need to find you
Yeah,
a male mentor.
I really need it. Maybe I'll go back to the Pickle Weasel, find my people. Say, fix me.
Pick a number between 1 and 10.
Ooh, 8.
City life or country life?
Well, city life for sure. I have an issue with nature.
What's...
Or nature has an issue with me, I'll say, Oh, I don't do well with cold or mud. I'm definitely an indoors city guy. Also, shout out to all the people, I've had a few people who watch my videos who are longtime Second Life users, and they have shown me some very, very cool places. I appreciate it. The biggest eye-opener is when I first started making the videos, I did think I would just, have a bunch of weird experiences and make a funny video.
Yeah.
But as this series has continued, it's turned into, a lot more than that, and seen a lot of different sides of the community that I didn't know existed, which has been cool.
Was your intention to start with doing like real troll videos like the others do, which is pretty nasty and obnoxious type of video?
No, No, I thought my original intention was to make a video sort of making me look like a bumbling fool because of how confusing it was. Because when I first tried it, I was like, someone should highlight how this is a challenging onboarding experience for new players. So I was like, I'll just make a funny video showing me trying to bumble through just like even getting onto the platform. And then it just sort of spiraled from there because I ran into all these people who I had just hilarious conversations with.
So you've seen those videos I'm talking about, the trolls that are nasty and showing people.
I've seen some of them, yeah.
Yeah. So were you a bit surprised, or were you expecting like people to be nasty to you, or like?
I was, and I will say sometimes people weren't nasty, but they did just ban me from places because they saw my avatar and just assumed that I was going to be, a mean troll.
Yeah.
So that was the one interesting thing is you could definitely see the effect that has had on some parts of the community where they just can be a bit more closed off to new users because of that,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is understandable.
Well, even Philip said that too. How people were
Yeah.
mean to him because they didn't realize who he was.
Yeah, oh, that's hilarious. Comes in
So
with the noob avatar. He's got to be a troll.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We're gonna be doing much more in Second Life, so I'm excited. More meetups and things, and trying to open up a little voice chat community. I do think that's something that they could probably improve on is discoverability of social hubs and places like that. But the people are out there. I've confirmed it. You just got to find them.
I don't know if you know much about Philip, but he came back and he's still wearing his classic avatar from 22 years ago.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I had read a bit about that.
yeah, he's just learned to figure out how to, to transform into what we are today, and find it very, very difficult. So,
Yeah, I had the same experience. I would love to stumble through that with him.
So while I was getting ready for this interview, it got me thinking. You and Philip have something in common. Your avatar aren't exactly top tier material. Ado's Next Top Model is an underrated show. So what if we put you and Philip head to toe in a battle to become the next top model? Two struggling avatars, one epic showdown. It would be absolutely brilliant.
Amazing.
I know.
That's right up my alley. I think he
Yeah.
might have me beat, but we'll see. I'm learning fast.
And I wonder if someone in the audience or someone connected to male bodies like Signature or Legacy might want to step in with a body or some clothes to help you out, like a sponsorship.
Oh yeah, that'd be amazing.
Clothing, and you missed out on the free head from Lelutka, which is a shame.
Oh yeah.
Or did you get it?
No, I missed out on it.
Damn
It was
it.
too late. I would love to make that happen.
I know.
I think there's a lot of potential there.
We could get the audience to vote as well. Yeah, if anyone thinks it's a good idea and could provide us with some ideas, that would be absolutely amazing.
It would be the showdown of the century, I think. Be like Iron Chef of America of Second Life.
Yes, because look at him.
I need help.
You definitely need help. I mean, the hair. You've
Okay,
been
the
wearing
hair's
those
great.
hair for what, the whole 2 years now?
I think so, yeah. Ever since I learned, I'm afraid to try to change it again. Last time I did, I ended up deleting my body.
And I think if we could do that with you and Philip, I think that would be absolutely a brilliant
That would be
show.
gold.
Yeah, that would be gold.
I am
Yeah.
it.
We just need to find you sponsors. That
Comment below. Support the nerds.
Support the nerds.
We need it.
Look at him. He needs a new
Look
body, a
at-
new head, new hair, new clothes, new shoes.
Donate to the cause.
Yes, yes. I'm going to do a campaign. Donate to the nerd.
I like this. Well, thank you so much, and shout out to everybody watching.
If you've made it this far, thank you. And hi, I'm Priska. I'm a Gen Xer with a full-time job and 2 grown-up kids. though they'll always be my babies, no matter their age. My daughter is married, has a 1-year-old, and runs a successful business with her husband. My son, who's been in a relationship for over a decade, is self-employed and teaches people how to fish part-time. Because, well, it's his passion. When I'm not working or hanging with family, you'll often find me on Second Life. It's my creative outlet and a place to catch up with friends, even though we could totally just chat on Discord. I enjoy it for a million reasons, but it doesn't define me. Logging into Second Life is no different than someone scrolling through TikTok for hours, just a different way to unwind. And for the record, everyone who knows me, especially my kids and anyone else who cares to ask, knows I'm on Second Life. It's never been a secret. If someone wants to judge me for it, that's fine. It just means we're not meant to be in the same circle, and I'm perfectly okay with that. Outside of Second Life, I'm out and about. I love catching the sunrise at the beach on weekends, devour audiobooks, seriously, so many, play on my Xbox, and spend time with friends and family. Why am I telling you all this? Because I know what people say about Second Life. And sure, like anywhere else, there are bad places and wild people. But just like in real life, you don't hang out where you don't belong. Don't let someone else's bad experience stop you from trying it for yourself. If you give it a chance, Second Life can be so much fun. Especially if you find a mentor to guide you as you learn the ropes and discover all it has to offer. So, Happy New Year. Who knows? Maybe our paths will cross in worlds someday.